What's up, everybody? It's the day after Christmas, so that means it's Boxing Day, which we don't really celebrate in the U.S. I had to actually look it up on Wikipedia what that is. As you know, the year is almost over. 2018 is just a few days away, so like most people, I'm thinking about the end of the year. I'm thinking about everything that's happened this year and what I hope to accomplish next year. And as an artist, that kind of thinking can be a little difficult. I don't think in a linear fashion. My wife and I just celebrated 10 years of marriage. She still is trying to get used to the fact that I don't think in a straight line. The way I think is really a lot like a mind map. You know, you start with a one core concept and then you have all these branches coming off. So I instantly go from like one concept to 15, and then that multiplies. You get branches off of the branches. Because, you know, we artists are not real great at goal setting sometimes. Just we do stuff. We get an idea and we just go after that. So in one way, we are very singular focused, which often is to make stuff. But we don't usually go beyond that, right? We usually just kind of jump around from one thing to another, which can be good, but a lot of times it leaves us feeling like we haven't done anything. It leaves us feeling kind of lost, a little directionless. Now, I know there are good things to come out of that, but for the most part, that feels kind of directionless. Got a text from my wife there. I let her know I was on my way. My wife left her purse at my parents' house yesterday. So I met my mom, got my wife's purse, and now I'm headed back home. To get back on topic, it's easy to jump around and not get on task. That's why my wife and I do Michael Hyatt's 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever. We've done it several times in the past, and it's a great program. We have not hit every single goal that we set with Best Year Ever. I feel like we have hit the important ones. One year, our big goal was to take the kids to the beach because they had never been to the beach. It's something the kids still talk about, and that was 2 years ago. We did that last year. We took them last October. We took them to the beach for fall break. They loved it. They still talk about it. Hope and I have not talked about our 2018 goals in a lot of detail. We've started talking about them, but we don't have everything all planned out. Now, the real trick is, I believe, to not overthink your goals, to not do too many. In fact, you're on the right track if you have a few goals, because it's better to have a few goals and hit them than have too many goals and not accomplish anything. Plus, you know, if you have too many goals, you're less likely to hit them. If there are 3 things that you're trying to accomplish this year, you're more likely to do it. You can either say, okay, for 4 months, I'm going to focus on this thing, and then the next 4 months, focus on the next second thing, and then the next 4 months, focus on the third thing. So that's how having 3 goals can be helpful. But if you have like 20 goals, you're not going to have time to accomplish them unless they kind of cascade around each other. You know, you have that domino effect. If you achieve this goal, you'll get this one and this one and this one. You know, that is one way to do it. But, you know, really the fewer goals you have, the better. So what does this have to do with art? I think for artists, goal setting is very much built around habit. You know, I feel like habits are the secret sauce for artists. People like us, you know, are not so goal-oriented, but habit-oriented. And when you make something habitual, like working out, getting in the studio every day, you know, setting those habit goals can be very, very powerful, especially when you tie them to a specific outcome. I think it's not enough to say, okay, I want to paint every day, or I want to go to the gym every day. You know, that's good, and that is the place to start. And, you know, if you want to work out every day, that's great. But if you can tie that to a specific goal, I think that will give you more motivation to keep pushing, to keep doing that. For a long time, I've thought of myself as not very goal-oriented, but I've realized I am, especially with my health. You know, I've realized not long ago that I am more goal-oriented than I previously thought. And here's how, especially as it pertains to my health. I don't so much have a goal weight in mind. I mean, I do, but I'm not as particular about my weight as I am about building healthy habits. Now, I have an activity tracker, I have a Garmin activity tracker, and I realized about 9 months ago that I like to get a certain number of steps before I sit down at my desk at my day job. And I realized, hey, I like these little micro goals where I sit down at my desk, then I want to get a certain number before I go to lunch, and then on my lunch break, I kind of take a late lunch. I want to get another number by then, and then on my way to the train in the afternoon, there's another number I want to hit, and then a final number before I go to bed. So I wonder if there's something I could do along those lines, setting micro goals throughout the year in order to achieve a bigger goal. So I'm kind of competitive with myself. So I wonder if other artists out there, if any of you other artists are the same way, if you guys like to set micro goals like that. Maybe for my art, I can set micro goals like that in terms of how many canvases I can prime in a week, or by a certain time of day have a canvas varnished. So I'm the type of person who does well having a schedule. I know a lot of artists don't like having a schedule. They want to just get in the flow and just do stuff. But the most successful artists I've heard of have a certain schedule. Somerset Maugham famously said that he writes whenever inspiration strikes. Fortunately, that happens every morning at 9 a.m. In other words, he shows up and he is at his desk at 9 o'clock every morning. Chuck Close has said that inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just get to work. There's somebody else who said that. I think Stephen King. The point is the same. Those are people who they show up every morning and get to work. Chuck Close's work, yes, I can see that. It's very production oriented. But, I would not say Stephen King's work is production-y. He's not cranking stuff out. Now, he does have this grand vision for what he wants his work to be. And I think he works along with that and just kind of says, okay, here is my end goal for this work. It's going to be a series of books. It'll probably be this number of books. And here's the overall story arc, and now I'm just going to fill in the details to get from here to there. And as a painter, I can kind of plan out a series and say, okay, I'm going to do a series of this many paintings. I'm going to use this kind of a color scheme. I can sketch it out. Now I allow for improvisation while I'm on the canvas. When I'm finished, that's that. I have an idea of what I'm going to do before I even get in the studio. In the studio, I can batch my tasks in terms of photographing all my work at this particular time, or I varnish canvases at this time, upload photos of my work to my online shop, marketing time, PR time, things like that. My friend Corey Huff really advocates that artists dividing their time between the studio and marketing. You spend all morning in the studio, you spend all afternoon working on PR and marketing, and then Thursday afternoon is when you ship work out, or whatever works for you. So with all that, I want 2018 to be more intentional about how I spend my time, and intention has been my word of the year. I don't think I'm going to have a word of the year for 2018, but I do intend to be careful with my time and just kind of set specific goals, and I'm not going to share those specific goals with the world. My wife will know what they are, but because she needs to be on the same page as me about what I want to do in the upcoming year. And that huge part of goal setting and attaining your goal, having a support group, whether that's a spouse or friends and family, children who want you to achieve your goals. Otherwise, people think you're just being selfish with your time. And yeah, sometimes you kind of are being selfish with your time, and you may get that. But when you get people on the same page as you who understand what it is you're trying to accomplish, then you can get the support you need to actually achieve those things. And if your goals become their goals, and their goals become your goals too, then everybody wins, and everybody's happy because you're seeing the people you love and care about accomplish things. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. I'll be home in about 8 or 9 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope everybody has a fantastic new year.